My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey y'all, it's time for my November check-in. Finally, my check-in is late this month. I feel like they've been late for the past couple of months, and it's just gonna have to be okay with me and with everyone else. And that's what I've been saying about a lot of things lately. It's kind of hard for me to get that through my thick skull, and that's one of the things that has been stressing me out the most, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in my check-in. So this is the video in which I check in about how the month went. The overarching theme, the presumed basis for the check-in, is that I'm talking about what it was like to be on a budget in the preceding month. So I'm checking in about how my year-long project is going month by month in the check-ins at the end of each month. So this is the November check-in. I'm talking about how my budgeting went down in November, how it affected my quality of life, if there have been any evolutions, anything I've thought about. But I also tend to end up just speaking extemporaneously about how my month went in general, because I know that there are people out there who care about that. And also, this is often a good chance for me to kind of like rap with you guys about things that I need to say. Like, there are a couple of things in this video that I'm like, I really need to like check in with my subscribers about X, Y, or Z, and about how my channel's going and how the things that are going on in my life are affecting what's going on in my channel. And so I'm going to do that in this video. This is like the perfect time to do that. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I already filmed my video about how I spent my budget in November, and I actually think it's kind of elegant to have that one go up first, because now if you've seen that, it should have gone up yesterday or very recently. If you've seen that, you will know how I spent my budget in November, so I don't have to kind of be mysterious about it when I'm talking about how this month went in terms of budgeting. I'm like referring back to the contents of that video. And also in that video, I talked a little bit about, I foreshadowed this video. I talked a little bit about the fact that it hasn't been the best month, and I talked a little bit about sort of why it's gone down the way it has. Not why it's gone down the way it has, but I don't think I'm going to be going into like too much detail even in this video about exactly what's going on, because some of it I don't think you care about and some of it I don't want to talk about. But I kind of indicated the way in which things are like piling on each other. And I will touch on that a little bit. It's interesting. And I think that actually a lot of what went on this month in terms of my budget, I talked about in that video, because in many cases this year, the way that I think about shopping because of my budget and the way that my budget has sculpted my shopping behavior has been the thing affecting my quality of life. It's been like month after month where I feel like my month was better because the budget affected it in this way, or my experience was better because I was being smarter with my money, or because I bought this thing that's really amazing that I love and I would never have been able to buy it free and clear if I hadn't been budgeting. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of like how my budget affected my month. And this month it was the opposite. And that video was in many ways primarily about how my month affected my budget, because I just didn't have time to shop, and I didn't have time to spend, didn't have time to make decisions, I didn't have time to think about what kind of decisions I might want to think about making. My month has just been packed to the hilt, and I have been feeling myself disintegrate around the edges in terms of like my ability to take care of myself. So I've had pretty bad insomnia because of being anxious, and then I'm like dragging myself up out of bed early so that I can get extra work done. And then I'm really tired, or I'm sleeping in because I stayed up so late the night before, and then I'm feeling really guilty because I was sleeping during hours when I should have been working. So it's just been like this pile on of less than ideal situations that have all like fed into each other. And that's meant that something that I usually can easily do idly, and that easily gives me like a little bit of relief from the trials and tribulations of my little life, which is just a little bit of browsing or shopping or thinking about what I might buy. And with my budget, then sometimes that leads to me making a purchase. It was just like these two little spots in the month where that happened. One when I bought the Lisa Eldridge lipstick, and one when I bought this sweater that's still in the air on its way from New Zealand to me. Refer back to the other video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But there were these two little moments of like thinking about shopping, buying a thing, the end. Like it happened twice in the month, like bloop, little drops. And the whole rest of the month, I couldn't bring myself to carve out time. And that might be, wow, this is weird. I didn't think about this yet, but that might be an indicator of the fact that it's been an unhealthy month. And not because shopping is like the most healthy thing a person can choose to do, but because I know that it is a pleasant form of recreation for me when it's not out of control. So my channel is all about resisting the forces at play in my universe, and by extension the universe that some of you are living in, resisting the forces that are trying to get me to overspend, to completely disenfranchise myself, to go into debt, to mortgage my future. I'm trying to resist the forces that are trying to get me to do that. And they are. The corporations are trying to get me to do that. They don't care if I'm disempowered. They don't care if I'm broke. They don't care if I can never put a down payment on a house. They just want as much of my money, and the money that I don't even have yet, my credit, they just want as much of it as they can get. So from the very beginning, with my no buy year and now with my budget, my channel has been about resisting those forces, but not about never shopping again, or never collecting a beautiful thing, or not having my heart melt over an eyeshadow palette. It's not about that. I'm not trying to disengage completely with every type of commerce surrounding beauty and beautiful things. On the contrary, it's something that looms large in my life. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it looming large. I love beautiful things. I even love like the creativity behind sales of really beautiful things that are artistically packaged, fashion, makeup, all of the process, the behind the scenes, the people, the trends. Like I love that stuff. I'm building a whole YouTube channel that's about that. My actual job, my actual business is that. I make clothes, I buy fabric, I turn it into clothes, and I sell those clothes to people who I hope, for the most part across the board, really, really love them, and for whom it's like a good choice and something that improves their quality of life. I think there's room for that in the world, and I really love that. So I'm not up here trying to completely disengage from consumerism or being a radical anti-capitalist or something like that. Like that's not ever been what I'm doing. I've always been trying to resist the forces that want me to disenfranchise myself by spending my entire life away, but also holding space for the love of beautiful things to flourish in a way that's healthy. So that second thing, which I honor now that I'm almost done with my year of budgeting and I feel like I'm pretty balanced now in terms of like my instincts for spending, I honor that second thing. I make space for that by spending some time browsing, like looking on Instagram, looking in shops, trying to find new brands, cool people who have cool style, and then thinking about ways to incorporate their style into my style without spending too much, without spending anything, without buying anything fast fashion. You know what I mean? Like I love that. That's my life. I relish that act. And part of what I want to do on YouTube is to celebrate that. I want people to know that it's not all or nothing. You don't have to be someone who never buys something for yourself or who never shops in order to do the other thing, the first thing, resist the forces in our world that are trying to get us to disenfranchise ourselves by overspending, that are trying to get us to mortgage our future. It's not black and white. You can resist those forces, you can get your life back, you can control your finances, and you can still revel in the act of shopping for fewer, nicer, beautiful things. So the thing that I'm trying to say, rant, maybe not over, who knows, the video is still going on. Rant temporarily paused. How's my hair look? I feel like a little anxiety about it because this is the first day of the rest of its life. One of the ways in which I like get back in touch with myself and relax is that I read poems and I think about poems and I work on my own poems. One of the ways I get back in touch with myself is that I meditate. Sometimes cooking, if I have enough breathing room, can be a space for me to kind of like be in my happy place, especially if I'm listening to a book on tape or I'm watching YouTube while I'm cooking. And I also find that joy when I'm doing my makeup and when I'm getting dressed in the morning and taking a bath. Like there are all of these ways in which I make space for myself, for my spirit to flourish. And because I'm now doing it in a healthy way and in a way that's not ruining me, literally. Shopping can be that too for me. Like thinking about what I want to acquire, deciding on it, and then the act of actually buying it. It's actually kind of important to me. It's like it's special to me. I feel like it used to be that the relationship between the things I bought and my identity was so pressurized, and my issues with my own identity were so anxious and ran so deep that it was so easy for corporations to just plug into that and like drain me dry, glug, 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 of all of my resources, because I was so willing to pour them into that act of buying stuff that felt like it was defining my identity. Now, I feel like my identity and the things that I decide to buy are still intertwined. It's not like I've completely disentangled themselves from each other, but I've done so much work around the fact that I'm me and that's not going to change, which that was my issue before my no by year. The fact that I was me and that I'm not going to change. I mean, I'm changing all the time, but you know what I mean? The fact that I wasn't going to change into Alexa Chung or I don't know, some other cool person overnight. The fact that I wasn't going to suddenly evolve into someone with a dream life, like that was getting me down. I mean, and that's putting it mildly. Like that was traumatic. I wasn't looking at it, but that was what was going on, right? And so I was like always in a low level of panic about that, and so I was always like buying stuff to try to quell that panic. But I don't care anymore. Like I've been working on a lot, y'all. I'm in therapy. I got a YouTube channel where I talk about my feelings, and I'm now not mad at the fact that I'm not going to wake up tomorrow morning in a different life, that I'm not evolving into Alexa Chung. I'm not mad at it. I'm fine with being Hannah Louise Poston now, and I'm fine with the fact that I'm going to evolve into like another Hannah Louise Poston that's really similar to this one, but maybe like a little bit better slowly over time. I've come around, and so I no longer feel like I need to shop to keep something tamped down. But the identity, so I'm not panicking about my identity. So the fact that my identity is intertwined with some of the beautiful things that I own and choose to buy is no longer putting like a super intense pressure on the act of shopping. And therefore, it's kind of beautiful. Like it's kind of lovely and sweet to find a thing that resonates with me, especially when it's something that was crafted by an artist and sort of came to life through the resources of people who aren't mega corporations and billionaires, but you know, things that are made by small brands, small designers, people with a lot of passion who are living like realistic lives, like especially when it's coming from that kind of source. There's something really beautiful about finding it, connecting with it, having saved for it, making room for it in my identity, in my heart, and also in my home, and then deciding to exchange this really meaningful thing, currency, which I've worked for, deciding to exchange that for that thing. And so it's just, I don't know, it's the first time, this month is the first time that I've ever thought about the fact that I didn't have time to shop as like a bad thing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm surprised that I'm so surprised by it, because I have been actually articulating this to Joe. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, why have I not had time to walk to COS? Like, it's within walking distance, and just like try stuff on and buy that shirt that I want. Like, why haven't I had time? What's wrong with my life? Like, there's clearly something wrong. Flags, alarm bell, because it's the simplest act. It takes a short amount of time, and it's something that is a kind of recreation that would bring me pleasure, that would help me unwind, and that I'm planning to do. There's something wrong because I haven't found time for that. And you know, we've driven past COS a couple of times, and I've been like, COS, when am I going to have time to shop at you? Woe is me. And I've sort of been joking, but now here sitting talking to you guys, I'm like making the connection that there's been this sign of disaster, disaster is such a strong word. And I hope you guys know, I don't want to see anyone in the comments being like, you know, there are people who have it much worse off than you. I don't know what you're complaining about. I'm so tired of influencers talking about how bad their lives are and all their anxiety, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know that it could be worse. Like, I'm really glad that I don't have a chronic illness that I know of, and I don't have, I don't know, war around me. Like, I know that that these are problems only in the context of a life that is really so lucky like so hashtag blessed, like I get that. But the purpose of this video is not to talk about how even though I've cried almost every day for a month, my life isn't that bad compared to the lives of people in third world countries. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about the interaction between kind of like the month I've had and the budgeting project. So I feel like that's what I've done. It's just been interesting to see how the insanity of my schedule has pushed shopping off the table, and how that has been a sign that things are a little bit dire. This is where I'm going to get into like maybe talking a little bit loosely about what is going on, which is that I feel like I don't have the resources to like pull myself out. I'm sort of like, I've like gone too far, and I know that I'm down in the well, and I'm just like, but I left my rope up there. I went too far. I went like too far down, or like I went past the length of my own rope that I have usually in the past easily employed to pull myself back out. It's like I fell off the end of it. And so I'm sort of just waiting. Like it's just a waiting game. I just have to wait for my schedule to calm down and clear up, for my sense of efficacy to return, just to like organically return. And I do feel like it's around the corner. The past 2 days have been a lot better than the preceding month. So that's really, really good. And logistically, it's around the corner too. There are some things that are projects that are going to be like finally completed in early January. And I just know that once my schedule changes a little bit and resettles, I'll be a much more happy being, a much happier being. Why did I say much more happy? I'll be a much happier being. So I know what all of the factors are. I know that they're starting to change. I am going to be fine. I don't want anyone out there like worrying or feeling bad about me. I am clearly fine. I mean, like, look at me, I'm fine. The thing that I do want to touch on, that I do want to be explicit about in this video, is that one of the things that's really been stressing me out among all of the things is that I haven't been able to make certain videos that I had planned for the end of the year. And December is not over yet, and I am trying to film and post a lot in December, and I don't know like how the month is going to go. It might be that I do get it together to put some of these heavy hitting videos in my December content. And if that happens, that'll be great. So I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed for that. But I need to say on camera, to get it off my chest, I need to talk about the videos that I'm hoping to film, and the fact that it might not happen in December, and the fact that they're still coming, so that it will stop eating away at me, because I feel this like intense sense of obligation to follow through with the things that I said I would do. I know some of you are out there like wondering about it, and I just want to like come clean so that I can proceed without it being one of the things that keeps me up at night. So the main thing is the ethical corporations series. I am going to do, I think, at least 2 videos. So one of them is talking about what happened. Like, I think I need to make a whole separate video, like what happened to the corporate ethics series, because something did happen. A couple of things happened. One of the things that happened is just that I realized I had bitten off more than I could chew. And I want to kind of talk through that, because I think it's actually really interesting for someone who's such a self-starter and self-driver. Like, all of the work that I do is work that I created for myself pretty much. For someone in that situation, it's really interesting to have gone through that, to have bitten off more than I could chew and said that I was going to do something, and then I've had to take that back. I really hate that. I hate that feeling. And I'm looking forward to kind of like talking through that on camera with you guys. It's just an interesting exercise in like thinking about labor and thinking about like knowing ourselves. Like I didn't think it through enough at the beginning of the year when I was like, and I'm going to do all these spreadsheets and stuff. I should have stopped myself and been like, Hannah. But I will go into that in more detail in that video. So there's that happened. There's the fact that I bit off more than I could chew. But then there are some other things that happened. Like, when I was actually researching brands in like the 5th or 6th month, I came across some information. I had some opportunities to like learn some stuff that I have felt reluctant to share on camera. And I've got to do it, but I want to be careful about how I do it. And I just didn't feel like I had the time and the bandwidth to face that project of like disclosing everything that I want to disclose, both about how I failed myself and failed you guys with that project, and about the stuff that I learned that made me feel like I needed to bring it to a halt because I like didn't have room to create the video. I just need to like sit down and plan that, and then I need to do it. And I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I want to do it. It's just going to take a kind of energy that I don't have right now at all. At all. Like I have zero. I'm in debt. I'm in the black. I'm in the red. I'm in the negative with that kind of energy right now. And also that kind of video is going to get like a spicy response. Like people are going to want to talk about it. Everyone's going to be judgy. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. People are going to be like all over it. People are going to be like against it. People are going to be like slandering me on Reddit. They just are, because when you do serious things on YouTube, when you're serious and you talk about serious things, you get trolled. You always get trolled in one way or another. And I'm not prepared for that right now. I feel so weak saying that. Like I feel so like everyone else can handle it. Like Jen Loves Reviews can handle it, and like Samantha can handle it, and Lauren can handle it. Like everybody who does this work, you know, and Lacey, like everybody's good. And you know, Hannah, Smoky Glow Hannah, and you know, Abby, like everybody's like making these videos that get spicy responses, and they just take it in stride, and it's good. It's like healthy for a channel. It helps with views. It just helps with everything. Like you see people like blossoming everywhere because they're willing to take that on. And so it makes me feel so less than that I can't. I like can't right now. And I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And I do have some notes for it. It's just that now is not the time. So I'm postponing that video a little bit, either to later in December or to January, or maybe like who knows. Like that's what I need to start, not being like it'll be done by X, like it'll be done by the end of the year. I just need to start saying like it'll be done when it's done. But my plan is still to do it. And then the other video I'm going to make is one where I actually do talk about every corporation from which I purchased something in this whole year, after everything is purchased, after I spent my December budget. And again, I don't know when that video will come, if it'll be December, January, or later, but probably not. I mean, it would be dumb to like put it off for too long. I won't be like spreadsheeting everything as intensively as I started out doing, but I am going to touch on every single company. I'm going to try to do some percentages if I can, like this percent is what I feel good about, this percent I feel bad about, et cetera, et cetera. So there is going to be some kind of like reconnoitering and follow through with the idea of using the very strict budget to kind of like track the ethics of my spending. So all of that is coming. It's just that until now, I've promised myself, and I've promised you on camera a couple of times, that it would be done by the end of the year. Weirdly, now that the end of the year is nigh, it's not that I don't have time to film, because I'm filming a lot. I'm trying to film a lot. Like this video is taking effing forever to film, and I'm trying to carve out a little filming time here and there everywhere, because I'm trying to put out a lot of videos in December and January. There is a lot of planning time that goes into it. So it does take like hours and hours more than just filming the video to make those videos. And so time is actually part of it, because it's not just the filming and editing, it's like the planning, the numbers, the spreadsheet, all of that stuff. So that is definitely part of it, because my life is just too full. But I would say an equal part of it is just the thing about emotional bandwidth. There are a few really exciting videos that I want to make, that I can't wait to make, that are going to require a level of emotional bandwidth that I don't have right now. And so I just wanted to tell you that on camera. Like, it's not like I've forgotten about the idea of ethical consumerism. It's not like I am not going to reconnoiter with my budget and talk about tracking everything and all of that stuff. And it's not like I'm not going to disclose what it was that kind of kicked me off the ethical consumerism train, because I'm looking forward to talking about that with you. It's just that my year has taken a nosedive at the end in terms of the kind of energy that I have to give. And so I'm choosing making lighter videos so that I can produce a volume of videos. So I'm going to do like a declutter and some big reckonings, and maybe some fashion videos, and maybe some more makeup demonstrations, and things that won't get as many views and that maybe won't be as deep, but that I can film and that I can like keep moving forward with, and like move forward through December and move forward into January. And then when I've had some time to catch my breath, I'll make sure to return to those more heavy hitting videos and those deeper topics. Phew, I feel like my battery is about to die, and I know that this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna try to go soon. I think I just wanted to get that off of my chest, because it has been literally like when I'm lying awake at 3 a.m., I'm like, I'm letting my subscribers down. I said I was going to do all these things and I'm not doing them. I was going to try to return to like the video about imitation palettes. Like I still want to make that video. And like, you know, again, like the video about ethics and all this stuff. And people are going to think that I'm shallow or they don't care about that stuff anymore, or that I just am, you know, making videos about product. Like I lie awake at night, like with my heart beating extra fast because I'm like anxious about this stuff. And so I hope it's not been too like boring and just laborious to hear me plod through it, but I need to have like a record of myself for my own sanity. I need to have a record of myself explaining why so much more light content is being incorporated these days, because it's the best I can do. Like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to keep my channel healthy. I'm doing the best that I can do. And I do have probably an overactive conscience about following through with what I said that I would do, and continuing to build that depth and those questions, those deeper questions about consumerism into my channel. I'm the person who's the most concerned about it, even though there are some people, from what I've heard, I never read this stuff anymore, but from what I've heard, there are some people out there in the chat rooms who are very concerned about it. Nobody's as concerned about it as I am. Nobody is as concerned about the depth and quality of my YouTube channel as I am. So I'm on top of it. I just need a little space and time right now. And I wanted to clear the air with you guys so that I will be able to sleep more easily. And lastly, I wanted to briefly touch on the fact that this stress that I'm under right now is historically, the type of thing that would have sent me into a shopping spree, especially the fact that it happened during Black Friday. I could so easily see myself, if I had never done my no-buy, if I was just how I was back in 2017, if I were going through something similar, the same type of thing that I've been going through, if I were feeling the way I've been feeling, I could so easily see myself just shutting down, kind of blacking out, and buying thing after thing after thing, shopping cart after shopping cart after shopping cart, and all of the fashion websites and makeup websites, and chasing down all the deals, and coming through the other side having spent all my money, literally like everything in my savings account and everything in my bank account, and having put some on my credit card. I would have done that. Like that would have been my response to the way this month has been. So it's pretty spectacular to stack what actually has happened, which is that the way this month has been has caused me to not shop almost at all. Like the way this month has been has caused me to feel like I miss shopping, and that's like a genuine and okay feeling. To look at that against what would have happened if I hadn't gone through these 2 years of projects to address my spending issues and to heal my relationship with beautiful things, that's cool. That's great. And I'm proud of that. And I wanted to end the video on a positive note by sharing that with you. And that is it. I am going to go now. I'm going to go do some editing probably and figure out what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I appreciate you so much for watching, and the vast majority of you so much for being so understanding about the fact that things don't always go as planned with projects like this. The fact that YouTube, I feel like sometimes it seems so much more polished from the other side than it really is. And if you've ever gotten an inkling of that, just multiply that by 100,000 and you'll get a sense of the truth. For example, I'm not wearing any pants right now. Just gonna say it. And that is the perfect metaphor for my life. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself this week. And I will also try to remember to take extra good care of myself so that all of us can be the most effective versions of ourselves as we do our work in the world.